Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that's very important for all of us to understand if we are going to be investing in any particular capacity within the market. And the thing that I want to talk about is our economic system. And here's the thing. I know that my method of investing is the only correct method of investing. That is a bold statement to make, don't get me wrong, but it is the truth because it relies on a simple fact. And that fact is that we live in a capitalist economy. That is our economic system, capitalism. What does that mean? It's very difficult to say what that means if we don't define some terms. So number one, what is capital? Capital is the saved productive capacity of an economy. In other words, it is what's left over to be, it's anything that we've transformed into being capable of producing. It is a factor of production. Capital is a factor of production. What does that mean? It means that you can make things, you can build things, you can do things with capital. I hesitate to invoke the patron saint of communism, but Karl Marx said that capital is dead labor, right? That's where my definition of saved comes from, right? It is the productive capacity that you've made by simply saving up or building, creating technology. It's the ability to make the things that help you make things. For example, if I were alone on an island and instead of producing food or whatever, I spent the day making spears to go hunting. The spears then become capital, right? It is the saved productive capacity. I could have went foraging that day. It's saved productive capacity. It makes me more efficient at doing the things that I need to do. That is what capital is. So, where do we sit? We live in a capitalist economy. Think about that for a moment. What does that tell you? It tells you that you need to purchase capital. You need to develop capital. You need to safeguard capital. You need to hoard capital. Hoard is an ugly word, but essentially, right? The way that you gain power in our economic system is by having capital. If you have capital, you will have power in our economic system. Think about that for a moment. If you have capital, you have power. Power over what? Power over many things. You have the power to self-determine. You have the power to feed your family. You have the power to hire other people to leverage their expertise and knowledge and skills. You have power over the economics of your life. That is what capital does for you in our society. Think for a moment. What are stocks? Stocks represent pieces of businesses, and businesses own capital. And remember, I'm not talking about financial capital here. I am talking about actual physical capital. They own factories, they own machines, they own trucks, they own all sorts of things that are useful for building, creating, and producing. You will get the rents from those when you own those things. So to own those things, you need to own businesses, because businesses own the factors of production. Therefore, you need to purchase capital. Transform your labor into capital. But here's the thing. You can earn money, put it into the stock market, and lose value. You need to purchase capital when it's on sale. How do you know how much a piece of equipment is worth? It's worth exactly equal. This is economic financial theory. It's equal to the cash flows that it will produce. Simple. Very simple. Overall, in a business, the business, therefore, employing the capital must be worth the aggregate of the cash flows that all of its capital produces. Therefore, if you own a business, you are very interested in the cash flows that that business produces. That will tell you the value of the business. So that's the secret right there, is that you need to value businesses based off of the cash flow of the business. It's just that simple. And if you buy capital for less than its true value, you're getting more capital than you are paying for. And therefore, you will make money. You will gain power. That's how the stock market works. It's very simple. All that you need to do is own good businesses at very low valuations. That's all you need to do. And so, a first pass screen is to simply value the business and say, is it worth it? Our capitalist society will reward that. I have no doubt. Now, you might say, well, that's a very simplistic view of the stock market. And you would be right. That is a very simplistic view of the stock market, because the stock market is not what we were talking about before. We were talking about the economic system. The economic system is capitalism, but the stock market is a market. Buyers, sellers, and they come together and they trade. That is what a marketplace is, and the stock market is no different. And you have wholesalers, you have resellers, you have end user buyers, and you have producers, right? You have people in the market who are bringing things that they've produced, and you have people who are buying those things from those producers, and you have them reselling them, and you have all sorts of things going on in the market. It's a very complicated thing. But the point that I'm making is that you don't have to participate in any of that nonsense. The number one thing that you need to do is acquire capital, because that is the system that we live in. Acquire capital, acquire capital, acquire capital. And you already have capital, right? That's money. Money, cash, is capital in its simplest, most liquid form. You can transform it into any other piece of capital. So you've earned capital by presumably working in a job, and you've taken that money and you want to deploy it into the stock market. Your goal then should be to purchase more capital, right? Get more capital than your current capital is worth. If you do that one thing, you will be very successful. And I would say that is the cornerstone. It is the piece that you need to make investing work, is that you are buying things for less than what they're worth. That's it. So that was my little rant about what the objective of investing should be, right? It should be acquiring capital. That's it. Acquire capital. And capital is only worth its cash flows. Period. End of discussion. It's really the only thing that there is. So take that and do what you will with it. It's a very complicated system that we live in, but the basic idea is very simple. Acquire capital, and acquire good capital at good rates. Okay, that's all that I have for today. Stay rational, my friends, and we will talk to you tomorrow.